Here they give us a function, a polynomial, and they ask us to describe this polynomial, stating the end behaviors using limits. So again, we've already talked about limits as x approaches positive or negative infinity. That's just referring to all either positive x's and how our y looks at that point, or the negative x's, right, the negative part of the domain, and how the y's look at that. So, knowing the rule of end behaviors for a function, I need to look at the leading term. Now, I have to make sure that my polynomial is in order from highest to lowest, and this polynomial is. I see that this is my leading term, right, 2x to the 5th degree, and I can get a ton of information from this, right? So 5 is an odd degree, which means that the end behaviors are going to be in opposite, one going to the positive, one going to the negative, right? And 2 is greater than 1, which means that I will have one end going into my first quadrant and the other end going down into my third quadrant. So the polynomial would look something probably approximately like that, right? So one end going to your the third quadrant, and one going to your first quadrant. So, knowing that, we can say, well, as the limit of x is approaching positive infinity, this function will have a positive infinity, right? Because it will be going up into the positive range, or we'll have all positive y's. Then if we look at the limit of x as it approaches negative infinity, that would equal negative infinity, because for all the negative part of the domain, it would be going down into the third quadrant, which means the y's would be negative, right? You'd have a negative range in that point.